Hi guys, good to have you here. Okay, quickly, we are continuing from where we stopped in financial accounting. We've been treating correction of errors before now. I think this is the part 4 and the final part. Okay, this is the last and the final part, the part 4 of financial accounting that we've been treating of correction of error under financial accounting. Yeah, if you have not take part in the previous classes, I will share the link in the description section so that you go through it. And because if you want to start from here, it's going to be very difficult for you to understand. Okay, so I'm going to share the link so that you follow us up from the part 1 and up to this point. Okay, so in this final point, basically what we're going to be looking at is the journal and the suspense account. Okay. Now, from I think part 2, part 3, we took time. In part 2, part 3, we took time to correct those errors. And then, we analyzed those errors and corrected them. Now, after correction, the next thing to do is to move those corrections into what we call the journal. Okay? To move those corrections into what we call the journal. Then, after moving them into what we call the journal, then from the journal, you now extract what we call the suspense account. I don't know if you're following. Yes. Remember, I also said in the previous classes that the suspense account should not be left in the books for too long. Just like the word suspense is something that is not permanent. It's not supposed to be permanent, okay? It's just for the meantime to allow us do what we need to do, correct what we need to correct for the meantime. So the suspense account is not supposed to be in the books for that long. So after correcting your errors, after detecting your errors and you correct them, you draft a suspense account and you rectify the errors, then you do away with the suspense account. Do you understand? So I've taken time off cam because I don't want this final part, this last class to be that lengthy. I don't want it to waste time. I don't want it to be too long, okay? So I took time off cam to draft out the journal. So I'm going to take time to go through them one after the other. Then I will turn over to the other side of the board. That's where the complete journal and the suspense account is. I don't know if you follow it. All right. Now, this is the journal entries for the errors we corrected. Okay. Now, there's something I want to point out here. Now, if you check all these journal entries, the ones that have suspense in them, these are the ones that will be going to the what? To the suspense account. Okay, these ones without suspense account attached to them, they are the errors that will not affect the trial balance. Remember, we've said this in the previous classes. We've taken time to deal with all that in the previous classes. Now, but the ones that have suspense in them, these are the entries that will affect the trial balance. Therefore, we need to draft out the suspense accounts. Okay? I don't know if you understand it. Okay, now, let's start with the first one. Now, say adding machine, 750 debited, then office expense, 750 credited. Now, when drafting your journal for suspense, for correction of errors, your narration is very important, okay? Your narration will help users of the accounting information or whoever is auditing the account to know what that entry is all about, or what the correction, how the correction came about. Okay, well, how the error emanated and how the correction came about. Do you understand? So your narration is very important. However, there is no template. There is no particular, okay, when it has to do with sentences now. Correction, the narration, I mean, when it has to do with sentences that you must follow. You are free to use any narration wordings or sentence of your choice, but make sure that key words are in your narration. Let me take this for instance. Purchase of an adding machine wrongly posted, now corrected. Now, if you check this narration, you see that keywords are here. Okay, the keywords are here. Now, this error that will not affect the trial balance, when we were treating it in the previous classes, it was instead of purchase of adding machine to be what posted in adding machine account, it was wrongly posted to office expense account. So now see the narration: purchase of an adding machine wrongly posted You see, wrongly posted, now corrected. So keywords in the narration is there. So whoever is auditing the account or whoever is going through the account will know what this correction is all about. Now the second one, discount allowed 784, then suspend 784. Now see the narration. Being discount allowed, not posted from the cash book, now corrected. You can put your own narration whichever way you want it. Do you understand? But make sure that keywords, key details are in the narration so that it will make sense. It will, whoever is going through the account will not be lost. Do you understand? The same thing. Now, drawings, purchases, you see, being drawings omitted from the books, now corrected. Same thing here, sales, suspense, being error of overcast of sales day book, now corrected. Same thing here, suspense, trade payables, being credit purchase wrongly debited to suspense, to supplier's account, now corrected. Then bad debt, 120, suspense, 120. Then being bad debt omitted from bad debt account, now corrected. So I'm going to turn over to the other side where we have the complete, the remaining entries in the journal and the suspense account. Are we together? Please subscribe, use the comment section. Where you don't understand, I will attend to you, okay? Let me turn over to the other side. Are we together? Okay, so here, this is the other side of the board. Now you can see the remaining parts of the journal entries. Okay, returns inward 360, trade receivable 360. Now this is the narration, being error of original entry now corrected. Okay, now we have suspense here, 180, wages and salaries 180. Being overstatement of wages and salary accounts now corrected. Okay, now we have suspense here, 13, bank 13. And the narration is being cost of motor vehicle paid by check omitted from the books now corrected. Sorry if you notice some parts I was using shorthand, you know, the board is not that wide, so I want to make sure that everything contains, okay? So please pardon me for that. All right, so these are the journal entries, okay? Then after the journal entries, we'll open what we call the suspense account. Okay, this is the suspense account. Now, the suspense account, just like I mentioned earlier, only accounts that affect, only entries or errors that affect the trial balance, that will affect the trial balance. These are the only accounts or entries or errors that will be moved to suspense account after being corrected. Now, let me take this one, this last one, for instance, this bank of 1,003. If you check, this error will definitely affect the trial balance. That is why it has suspense account. Okay, now you move it, because it has suspense account, you move it to suspense account. Now, if you check, suspense account is what? The journal is, suspense account is debited in the journal. Now, you see it here, bank, it is debited, 1,003. Now, let me come again. In this case, we are considering this case now, this last entry. Suspense account is debited in the journal while bank is credited. Okay, now when you come to suspense account, you come on the debit side with bank. Bank, on the credit side, you have suspense. Now let me interpret this. This is what it means. Suspense account, bank account. In suspense account, bank is debited. See, bank. Then in bank account, suspense is what? Debited. Suspense. This is it. This what you're saying on this journal, this is it here. Do you understand? This is what it means. This is the interpretation of what you're seeing on this journal. Okay? So now this is suspense account. That's why you're seeing bank here, 13. So this suspense account ledger is the same thing as this whole thing you're seeing here. So every account that has suspense linked to them will be moved to the suspense ledger or suspense account. I don't want you to get confused. I don't know if you're understanding it. So that is what it simply means. So wherever, like here now, bank is credited while suspense is debited. Whichever column, whether debit or credit side, that suspense appears, that is where it will appear on the suspense ledger. Another example, wages and salaries. Suspense is debited. Suspense is debited in the journal. So when you come to suspense account, still maintain that debit column, wages and salaries. So the only accounts that are moved here, or the only entries that are moved to suspense account, I'm repeating this again, excuse me, are those entries that have suspense attached to them. And these are we have trade payable. Sorry, this is trade payable. I didn't want to, there's no space to write everything. Trade payable, 1,046, wages and salaries, 180, bank, 13. Now, this balance brought down, if you check the question, from the question I shared from the part 1 of this class, we have a balance of 622. That's what you're seeing here. Okay? Then we have discount allowed, 784, sales, 1,000, bad debt, 120. So the both side, both the credit and the debit side, will have same figure. We have same balancing figure. That's when you know that, yes, your account has been what? Duly corrected. Your errors have been duly what? Corrected. Are we together? All right, guys. Just like I said, this is just a concluding part and the final part. All right. Use the comment section where you don't understand. We'll attend to you. Subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you get notified when we upload new classes. Invite people to be part of what we're doing. For those who have subscribed, for those who are following us, who have invited 1 or 2 persons to be part of this class, thank you very much. We really appreciate you. You inspire us to do more. Thank you, guys. See you in the next class.